Hey, Grand Rising family. What's going on? Hey, before we even get started, man, let me explain the two watches and this here, all the whole get up. Um, the reason why I got these things on, the little gold ring and all this stuff. I'm explaining this family real briefly. Um, I want to have an uncomfortable conversation with y'all on this one here. I'm talking about this conversation is going to be uncomfortable to many people, especially if the shoe fit. I'm only expressing things from my own personal experiences. My experiences of yesterday as well as today, family. That's it. That's it and that's all. Um, my disclaimer, I don't claim to be perfect. I don't claim to be a preacher or a teacher. I'm not a scholar. I'm not even a content creator by trade. What I am, I'm a realist. I like to keep things real, man. This is why the channel is called Real Talk and Rhythm. And rhythm kicks in um, on the Western World One radio network. But I'm gonna merge them eventually because everything that I'm learning as far as this YouTube and um, everything I'm learning, family. No one's taught me anything. The thing I know about as far as programming the radio and all that stuff, I learned that from my brother, my partner, my friend, my longtime friend Dennis Weston, the founder of Western World One Radio. So as far as this here, I didn't no one is teaching me anything. As a matter of fact, it's as though um, people would rather me stay out of this lane, and it's sad because it's just sad, man. It's sad on a many different levels. But um, as I always tell you, man, I make notes to myself and things like that because I'm up in age, man. I'm 55. You dig? I am. Um, and that don't matter in a sense, but um, the things that I've done, the consequences are real. That's what I'm getting at. So a lot of this comes from self-inflicted abuse to my own self. So without further ado, family, let me get up into this, man. Like I said, let's just have an uncomfortable conversation on this one here. Let me get my peepers, my glasses, and hopefully you take a listen. I started off this here. This is note to self. This is not nothing that I came from with no resource or any of that stuff. I actually took some weeks out. Excuse me. Took weeks out of piecing this stuff down, jotting it down, just like I do here. I jot down little things all the time. That's what I do. Jot things down, and then when I get a moment, I I piece stuff together. Forgive me for looking over there. I'm looking in the camera. I hear a lot of crazy noises outdoors at 4:33 a.m. That's what time it is here in Chicago. But it's always something going on. But this is how I started. I said a lot of people say times are rough, right? Out here, especially in this day and time. But I gotta ask, are times rough or are habits more expensive? Because there's a difference. And that's what I see with a lot of my loved ones, man. They are in refusal. It's not even denial, it's refusal. They are in refusal of cutting back on that lifestyle. Some people are caught up in the way that they got accustomed to living. Some people like to live high on the hog. Um, some just hardly living. I mean, you did, but the bottom line is they they crying foul now. They saying, man, times are rough. But the question is, are the times really rough or are the habits more, expensive? living above your means doesn't start with income. It starts with the image. That's what this come in at. See, I started accumulating jewelry and stuff like that. Um, Man, it's been a minute now, a nice minute for me because I ain't never have an opportunity to get anything, no piece of nothing. Probably a string with some beads on it or something, or something that'll turn my neck green and itch me to death. But um, that's how this had. I was creating an image for myself because I was learning behaviors from other individuals when I was coming across cats. Man, I would look at them and you know creating things, and I was like, after a while, I was like, man, bump that, man. That's foolery. That's foolery. So you probably wouldn't never know. I got pieces of jewelry, lots of it. Um, if given the right offer for this stuff, I would sell it in a heartbeat. Or as I'm learning, gold and silver is back in as far as on the rise of price, of value. So I may just keep it and do whatever I learned to do along the way. My bottom line was it's what I have noted here. It says living above your means doesn't start with income. It starts with the image. And I was creating an image for myself, especially when people was um damn man, I don't even want to say worshiping because that is too strong of a attached word. I would say they looked at me as some kind of DJ savior. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that, family, because in my own eyes, I just like to play records. I just love to mix and blend and create my own different style of things. I like to do things and I do it on the fly. So that's a plus to many people that get to witness and experience that with me on the fly. But then, again, be careful of ego, because ego will swell your head up so bad you find yourself hubris. That word hubris, look that word up. Hubris means uh, 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 arrogance. That's how I'm gonna sum that word up. Hubris means arrogance, and I don't want to be arrogant. I don't want to be looked upon as arrogant. If a person look at me and feel that way about me, ain't nothing I can do. I tell you, I intend not to be arrogant, hubris, or none of that. But my friend Miss Cheryl, she used to say to me, she said, "Bro, you so modest," and that's what started me a long time ago looking up words because I'm like, "What you mean? What you just called me?" But what she was saying is, she's saying you're humble with taking compliments and things. Sometimes I get bashful. I ain't even lie, man. I get bashful even to this very day because um, I don't want to be taken um, to a plane, man. Where I'm at, I'm on a balanced level right now. I don't want to be thinking that I'm something when I ain't nothing, and that's just for me. So living above you know your means doesn't start with income. It starts with your image, and then the car upgrade. A lot of people doing it right now to this day. Yeah, when them taxes come, I'm gonna upgrade. I'm getting me a new car. I'm getting this, and then I ask a question. I say, well, what's wrong with your car now? And they said, oh, that old thing. You see where I'm going, family? Now I happen to, and I'm not boasting. I happen to have two cars out there. I got a 2006 and a 2008, and they up they up the par. Ain't nothing wrong under the hood. It ain't ugly outside the car. It drives. It gives me no problem. I had One of these cars I had for since 2014, and the other one, how long have I had the second one? I bought the second one for my niece, okay? And then it needed some stuff done to it because I bought it off, of course, off the street. And that's the thing. When I get used automobiles, I know it'd be, to get them, and then you purchase them. You don't get no note on them. That's for me, just for me. Some people don't mind getting notes and debt, creating debt for themselves. I do. So I purchased this vehicle for my niece. It had many issues, man. Electrical issues, engine issues, all that stuff. So I had another pickup, a white pickup truck, um, and I really wish I would have kept my pickup truck because I got the pickup truck for business purposes. I got a also cleaning business going on. You know, yeah. So I got the thing, and then also when I need to move that heavy DJ equipment around, I had something that I can say, hey, come on, let's rock and roll. But that car thing didn't work out for her, especially when the money was put into it was coming out of my pocket. Still, I had already graciously enough bought the vehicle. So if you got the funds to get it right, then what I did was got it right and kept it, and then I just gave her something so she can have. Just you know, that's why I'm at here. But again, this wasn't about no boasting or bragging. I didn't bring that up for that purpose. My point of bringing it up was I got two used cars. I'm not concerned about getting no car that's electric. None of that. I don't want none of that. I'm not into the small. Give me a dumb car. Give me two dumb cars and I'm okay. And that turned out to be helpful for me as well because when one go down, I'm able to get into the other one. I have to go without having to go through rentals and stuff like that. But family, my whole thing is around tax time. It's all the time now. People start talking about upgrading their vehicle. So like I said, I note these things down. The car upgrade that you decided without thorough research, it's like a lot of people don't look into the other part of excuse me. They got it where it's real easy to get into a situation, family. You know what I mean? If you got an operating car and it's doing you fine, taking you to where you need to get to A and B, and doing all the things you needed to do, you taking care of it, then what are you getting rid of it for? That's just like you deciding you're gonna trade in your spouse or something. You know what I mean? Um, I know what that means. I do. Um, Also, the lifestyle you're trying to impress people with who aren't even paying not a penny towards your bills. So a lot of this comes from people pleasing. I see a lot of that too. Been seeing it all my doggone life, but I didn't ever look at it like that. I thought it was just, as people say with these sound bites and these cliches, our time to shine. Now come on with that, man. I'm always shining bright, even when I'm in a dull space, man. That's something I know today. That's real talk. Yeah, always in a shining moment for me because I stand out the most because I'm always in my own seclusion. You dig? I stay away from certain things. I live really a real set apart life today. I do. Um, and that's just the way it is for me. I'm okay with it. I'm not bored. I'm not miserable. I'm not unhappy. I am finally free here. It all starts in the mind, so I don't have to people please. The most people pleasing, I ain't gonna lie, the most people pleasing that I try to do is I try to please the audience when I do these videos, or I try to please the audience that's listening when I'm on the air. But other than that, outside of that, man, you better quit playing. It says, I got written here next. I said, discipline feels uncomfortable in the beginning, family. when you disciplining yourself to stop all of that, the lifestyle thing, and every time you get a piece of money, you want to talk about you upgrading, you doing foolish spending. This was foolish spending to me at the time, because I try to make that negative thing turn into something positive. And you see what I said? I said I did some researching, and I found out that silver and gold is actually uh, getting its value back. You know, whatever the hell that means. You dig? I'm learning things, but I know I'm unlearning a lot too. So let's keep that in mind. But discipline feels uncomfortable in the beginning, but debt feels uncomfortable for a whole bunch of years. Debt, DEBT, debt. That feels uncomfortable for a whole bunch of years, and I see people uh, steeped in debt. They're sickly. That causes people to get sick as heck, man. They have to get on medications and everything. Some people, man, actually transition and throughout their debt years. That cannot be me. I do not want to do that. So therefore, I do all I can do to make the necessary changes in my life and my habits. I replace all the bad habits with good habits to the best of my ability in the moment. Um, I try my best to have the wisdom of things, so um, as to not go backwards into something that I did in my past that caused me um, um, unnecessary hurt. So I try my best to always stay in the moment, but in my moment is shaping my future, because everything past this second now is future. So future is always right now. Yep, yep. Most financial pressures isn't oppression. You know what it is? Oppression. Oppression is repetition, and that's the big thing. Repeated choices, making bad decisions, repeated indulgences. You know how you indulge and engage in stuff that, you know, I got a lot of things. I got a lot of cleaning to do in my own space. Repeated avoidance of change, because a lot of people would shut me down all the time. I get that all the time. I did it too to people, and the results were real for me. But it caused me to get to this place where I'm at today, because what I learned, and I'm learning as the time keep on going for me, that I'm not here to convert and change anyone, man. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna get the word out, and that is a seed. That's a seed. That's that mustard seed. When you plant that little small seed, it eventually grows. It's just like my mom. When my mom was raising four children on her own, shall I say, and each of us, she planted seeds in each of us all throughout our lifetime. And as I get older to this very day, I remember every seed that she put in me, every seed. So this is what helps me in my decision making, because my mom brought us morals. She taught us morals. You did. She taught us um, right from wrong, if that is even such a thing, right from wrong. Because see, what I may deem to be right may be wrong as hell to you, and vice versa. So I'm gonna say my mom taught us how to make decisions that is more suitable and appropriate for us. That's what happened. Kill that word, right and wrong. The words is nothing. So when you continue to repeat making bad choices and repeated indulgences and repeated avoidance of change, then you're setting up a recipe for hardship. Here's something deeper, family. The same mindset that lives above financial means often lives above biological wisdom as well. And that's the truth, family. And biological wisdom. Wow. Let's just get off into it. Like I said, it's gonna be uncomfortable for a lot of people. So this stuff gives you short term pleasure, long term consequences. That's for everything. Everything. I'll tell you this before I get off into this next little piece here. I spent years after getting off uh, the drugs and lifestyle of how I used to carry myself and how I used to jump in and out of different relationships and raw dog with different women. And I spent years after that, even to this very day, I still look to see the damages that I've done to me. And so far, so good, family. So that's what I could say. But I have a mistrust for the the system, as far as hospitals and things like that, man. Hospital and hospice and all that, them things go together, man. So knowing what I know as far as getting you comfortably sick, keeping you comfortably sick when they prescribe you different meds and things like this, I'm very aware of that. So I don't rock and roll with that. I really don't. I try to self heal, but they try to make that very difficult out here today, man, by um, putting stuff into the foods, spraying stuff and shooting stuff into these foods. And I'm talking about this food will grow. Sometimes the food uh, exceeds its growth. You know, for instance, I remember the chicken. The chicken went from being normal size to extremely big, like them damn goose. These geese be out here. So um, I remember running across a video. I got it on my hard drive too. I saved it years ago, man, from over in China, where they were U.S. was sending all the cargo of food, like meats and things, over to China, and China had a long syringe like this with some kind of liquid, and as they shoot this syringe, and inject this syringe into this meats and chicken and stuff, everything I seen when they was pressing down on that little nozzle thing, that the meat was do this, and then they take it and put it back and wrap it up, and then it comes back. So, you know, I can't unsee that. That's a seed. I cannot ever unsee that. So that's why, you know, I'm kind of leery about things when it come down to hospitals and medicines and things like that. But the bottom line is, if you seek, you will find. That's in that Bible, man. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be answered unto you. These are sayings that are real. Those are little gems, little nuggets, and a lot of people never take advantage of because they take it and they interpret it wrong. I'm gonna say that you interpret it wrong, especially when you think that means foolishness like this here, jewelry and cars and biggest house. Some people get houses, man, they don't even know what's upstairs or what's in them other rooms and things. Just foolish spending, foolish lifestyle, and along comes foolish decisions when it comes down to jumping in and out of bed with different partners, man. So that's why I'm getting to, cause again, I'm afraid for my past behaviors today. I'm still afraid of them. So I count my lucky stars, man. You dig that when I get good reports and I don't see the different signs of deterioration, I'm great, man. I feel good when I can get past that. But here's where I'm at next. Every intimate encounter, especially if there's multiple encounters with random partners, it's not just emotional, it's biological. You're not just sharing energy, family. You're sharing fluids. You're sharing microbes. You're sharing risks. Yeah. Something that I ain't want to hear that, and especially not in the moment. That's why you got to get yourself some you got to get self discipline from all angles, man. Unprotected sex with multiple partners increases the risk of infections. Some show symptoms and some just don't. So that's why today I do the most paying attention to me, because I know how I was all over the place and I was not protecting myself. So I was unprotected, and that don't show symptoms, and it don't uh it give you no real warnings, man. It just happened. Some of the stuff lasts for weeks, and some lasts for a lifetime, and that's a fact. That is a fact. And I'm talking about for the unprotected uh, bed jumper. Let me make this clear to anyone that is watching or listening. This isn't about shaming anybody. Mm-mm. As a matter of fact, you see me, I keep using my own self as an example of what it is. That's why I put this notes in perspective, because I got to make sure that I get out what it is that's in me. I got to get it out of me. I can't keep holding these. I notice too when the camera is off, so that's why I know that's going to get better for me. But when the camera's not rolling, like now, I have conversation with people, man, and I be like, these are moments that I need to be recording. So maybe, who knows? Maybe I may start just doing some straight live random recording and then go from there, man. I don't know. So to everybody that's sitting here watching and listening, man, please hear me and bear with me for a moment. This isn't about shaming anybody. It's about understanding that freedom without responsibility becomes self-sabotage. Let me reread it. It says, it's about understanding that freedom without responsibility becomes self-sabotage. Yep. Because a lot of people love to throw that word out. I'm free to do what I need. You don't own me. You don't. That's what people say. And you are damn right. But it don't come without the responsibility of self-sabotage. You dig? So whether it's money or intimacy, the principle doesn't change. If you ignore consequences long enough, they invoice you. Because pleasure without discipline always charges interest. You dig what I'm saying? You don't get an invoice. It's gonna break down, that invoice gonna break down everything that you being charged with. Ain't gonna be like, now pay it. Who wants to, come on, man. Real freedom isn't about doing whatever you want. Oh no. That's not real freedom, bro. Real freedom is about being able to live with the results of your decisions. That's what real freedom is. Being able to live with the results of your decisions. So, if you decide to do you, then know that you have decided to take on the results of your decisions. But if you decide to pump the brakes and say, hold on, wait a minute, let me look into that, the consequences are going to be a little bit more lighter, because, hey, you got to use the intelligence that you have within when it comes to making life long decisions, man. You got to say yay or nay and know what it is you're saying yeah or nay to and about, man. That's just real talk. Again, welcome to Real Talking Rhythm right here on YouTube. So if you want peace, you have to practice restraint, man. Bottom line. If you want stability, you have to accept temporary discomfort. Because discipline isn't restriction, it's protection. Yeah. Pleasure feels good in the moment, but consequences, family. Consequences don't ask how you felt. They just arrive and start hanging within and throughout your life, man. Yeah. And some people, man, they be steeped in misery. I don't want to be there. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna conclude this because I just wanted to have this little bitty uncomfortable conversation with you because it's an uncomfortable conversation for many people, especially when people have the mindset of spin, or sleep with different. Hey, Lil Wayne said in his joint, he wish he can if every girl in the world. Man, listen here. Vice versa with women. Women, get you some check on your neck. You dig? A lot of people like to um, have oral and all of that. Look here, man. I was one of those jokers, boy. I was one of those people, but I ain't now. I'm not. You know why? Cause life happened. Life happened for me in a way that made me be able to see some scary situations, and I was able to see it through the discomforts of others. I experienced my own stuff, of course, but when you see further into it, you say, "Whoa!" So that whoa for me was like, man, I'm done. I surrender. I give up. So that's what caused me to have a change of mind, a change of lifestyle, and everything. So the way I've become today is because I came from something far worse than the average person can imagine. So that's what I got for you today, family. Hopefully you continue to, enjoy life, and if this information helps you at any kind of way, hopefully you take it. If it upsets you, hey man, don't let the upsetness destroy you. You stroke out from that. You a stroke out before I will. Being all upset about nothing, man. Using all them extra muscles trying to frown up and, oh man, smile a little bit, love a little bit, learn a little bit. I'm out here, family. I love y'all. Peace and love. A shell.